Okay, team, welcome back to the Anchor League, where we have hard conversations, hear people's stories, and challenge perspectives. My name is Zach.
And I'm Courtney.
And we are here for, I think, our third or fourth episode.
It's fourth.
It's fourth episode,
Yeah.
I thought so, yep. We are here for our fourth episode on our UPEND the Trend. I don't know if I said that the way you say it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I've come to the terms with the fact that you're just going to say it the way you
Great.
say it. And that's
Brilliant.
okay.
That is okay. Yes, that is okay. But we are here for our fourth series. Today is a slightly different episode in terms of what we've done the past couple episodes, where we've looked at something that is trending, something that isn't trending. But today we're going to dive into a little bit more of what makes something trend.
Yeah.
Boom.
I'm excited. We're going to go a bit deeper and a little bit of a different twist to it, I feel like, than we've already talked about. So
yes,
that's exciting.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's look up. So first of all, this is the definition of a trend. Okay.
Yes.
This is what you type in on Google. This is what you get. Okay, so it says trends are determined by an algorithm. Algorithm. There we go. Got that in the end. So trends are determined by an algorithm, and by default are tailored for you based on who you follow, your interests, and your location.
Yeah.
So that's how a trend is determined.
Exactly. And keeping in mind, this is not like we talked about trends the first week, more of like societal trends.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about, I mean, we get most of our news online, right?
Yes.
So this is kind of like the route that we're taking today, is more of an online social media focus.
Yes.
Just so there's no confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes, we don't want people confused.
No, we don't.
Very good job.
Thanks.
Okay, so basically the underlying fact is
Yeah.
it's determined by an algorithm. Boom.
mean,
Does that
that's
say
it.
enough?
That's-
Yeah, we can end the episode there. But
Yeah.
yes, so it's based on everything that you look at and that you're interested in. And it's
Exactly.
basically seeing, okay, this person is interested in this. This is what we're going to show him
Yeah.
or her. Make this inclusive.
Don't make it exclusive.
No, don't make it exclusive. Isn't that
It's
interesting?
very interesting.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to divert this slightly, but I'll find a way to bring it back.
Go on.
But right now, right, as of when we're filming this, the Gwyneth Paltrow trial court case about her ski collision is going on.
Boom. Yeah, explain that because I don't know if everyone knows.
Honestly, I don't care enough. I'm going to be completely honest. Basically, she collided with some guy in 2016, and he's like, you ran into me, and she's like, no, you ran into me.
It was a ski collision.
Ski collision.
Cool.
I don't know, rich people things, I guess.
Yeah.
Can't relate.
Have you been? You've been skiing?
I've never skied in my
okay.
entire life.
All right, I've been once, but for 3 days. So.
Everyone thinks that I'm from Canada, that I should,
Yeah.
Be in the Olympics or
That-
something.
that was
and I'm
me.
like, I've never stepped foot on a ski mountain.
That was me right now. So.
Yeah, well, truth comes out. I'm a city
There we
girl. Canada has those too.
So collision.
Collision, yes. And so basically he's trying to sue her for a lot of money for damages and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, as I said, I haven't really looked into it because I don't care, but it is like deja vu to the Johnny Depp case. And I'm like, how interesting
Yeah.
that during this series, like this is happening right now.
Yeah.
And I was even showing you, like, I opened up my Instagram the other day and it was like Vogue was doing a thing, Gwyneth Paltrow's courtroom looks. And I'm like, this is so strange.
Yeah. Like it's talking about her looks now, right?
Like,
and it's nothing to do with the collision even. Or...
Yeah. Or like I've seen articles where it's like the 12 of the most, crazy things that have happened, or like, apparently she tried to like bake cookies for like the jury or something. And they were like, yeah, no, we can't take those.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just strange.
Wow, that is strange.
Or made treats. I don't know if they were cookies, but
Okay.
anyway.
Still, yeah.
Still, it's so interesting.
Yeah.
But again, like we're talking about that. And the different thing, okay, for the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case that we talked about in episode 1,
Yeah.
was at least, okay, it was us being obsessed with these celebrities' life, right? But at least it did shed light on an issue of domestic violence, right? Like,
Right.
okay, there is something that we could take from that
Yeah.
if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
A lot of people did not, but still. This, I'm like, but the algorithm remembers that we were so obsessed with,
People's lives.
yeah,
honestly.
Johnny and Amber, that we might as well get obsessed about
Yeah.
Gwyneth too, even though like really at this one, it's like, there is nothing I can take from this.
Yeah. You know,
Honestly.
yeah. It's interesting because like, okay, for you, like if your life, let's say, and you were in court, etc., like, and it's literally just random people you've never heard of, nothing to do with your life, and they're like seeing all the gossip and seeing what's going on and literally seeing your every move because now they probably have paparazzi, whatever, all over
Yeah.
the place. And it's like, that's really, when you really put that into perspective, that is really weird.
It's
isn't
so
it?
weird.
Like that, like we're there, like looking at like what's going on. I mean, like, and I'm included in this, if
Yeah.
it's someone else's life and I'm there, like looking at like what they're doing and, oh, why would they do that? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like that's my news that I'm looking at. That's the stuff that I'm spat again there. So
Yeah.
anyway, but that's what I'm watching. It's
Yeah.
so weird. I think that's so
It's
strange.
very but it's okay, we've said this every episode, but it's our entertainment consumption
It is,
sort
yeah.
of mindset that we have.
Right.
But yeah, I just thought this was so interesting.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about the algorithm and, you know, we see what we want to see. And it's like, well, we're just going to keep on seeing things like this
Yeah.
because it's apparently all that we care about.
Right.
But,
And
yeah.
so on for algorithm along with that line as well. So Twitter's algorithm, which Twitter is just a huge platform that basically you just get all the goss.
Yeah.
Basically.
You can find out what's happening in the world literally just by looking at the trending topics.
Yeah.
Like literally. So one of our friends, Sammy, she's been on the podcast.
She has. Yeah. We should know her.
We should know her.
One of the old reps.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
But like she'll like open up her Twitter and be like, oh, this person's trending. Let's figure out why. You know what I mean? And it's like that's how you know current events. You know, you see somebody's name and you're like, something happened with them. You know? It's so interesting.
Yeah,
anyway,
it is. Yeah.
Go Twitter.
But Twitter's algorithm determines what is trending by favoring sharp spikes rather than gradual, sustained growth. Yeah. So basically, that concept is so interesting to me. So
There's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, I feel like there is. Yeah. Yeah, and basically trends are determined by a combination of volume and how much time it takes to create volume. So in other words, like in one day growth is trending, while 30 days is just like, it becomes more about like news. This is just the ongoing topic and stuff like that.
So news versus trending right there, right?
Boom.
Like,
okay, yeah, nice.
two separate things.
Yeah. And basically they're looking for something that excites, that's like dramatic, that
shock value.
Shock. Literally it is shock value.
Yeah.
It's like, how can we create shock value? And that's how we create what's trending. And that's how we create like people to look at something.
Yeah.
That is so interesting to me because like, it just explains the whole concept of like, we really struggle to stick with something for more than like a day or a week. And I don't even think that's just the news. I think that goes way beyond the news. Like that's just the world we live in now.
Yeah.
If we don't see what we want to see in the space of like a day or, you know, I mean, that's very dramatic.
Or short term.
Yeah.
Then
like,
we're done.
Then we're done. We really, really struggle to keep at it. I mean, you think of like, you know, if we take it back to the news and you think of like Ukraine or you think of like even Turkey and things like that. Like now we're seeing the after effects of the shock and it's still just as big of a deal. But on the news, it's less of a deal. Like, you know, I think, you know, for Turkey and even with Ukraine, like these are still big world events. And I know like, wouldn't it be hard to find something?
Yeah. Like there's definitely still coverage on them.
But there's no like, it's not the front and center thing
because
as it
the
was.
shock value is gone. Because
Exactly.
now we've become accustomed to these things.
Right.
So now it's old news. It's still news. It's just old news.
Yeah. And that's like, and again, to put this in the picture, like that is what everything is tailored towards for us to see. So like shock value, that's what they're looking at. So they're not going, oh, what's important? Like what is needed to be looked at? Or, you know, it's almost like they're just literally determining the things that we value based off of like what's going to get traction as quick as possible.
But here's the thing though, at the end of the day, it is us that decide what gets traction.
Yeah.
Right? Like, an algorithm is not a man sitting behind a computer being like, and Courtney's going to see this now, and then she's only going to see this.
Right.
No, it's because I'm looking, and I'm tapping, and I'm sharing specific types of things. So I'm only going to be seeing those specific types of things so that I could keep on interacting and making these companies money.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes it's like, well, like, we're in this echo chamber. That's one of my favorite buzzwords. You know, we're like, that's all we're seeing, and we're just, you know, consumed by, you know, gossip and this and that. But if that is what my algorithm is, that's because I'm enabling it to be that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The thing I love about TikTok, this is a side note, but they literally have an option where you can click not interested. And so the algorithm will learn you don't like this kind of stuff. How fascinating.
So like when you watch a video, you can go.
If you long press, it'll like say not interested, like don't show me these types of videos.
How did you know that?
Because once upon a time when I got TikTok, I was like, I'm going to be so good about this. And I'm not going to, you know, like, I'm just going to see what I want to see. And I'm going to be so contained. And I'm not going to be on it for very long every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but. Yeah.
It's almost like, how do we use, I mean, again, this is sidetrack here, but it's like, we see these social medias and it's like, how can these things serve us? And it's almost like, how can these things like be what I want it to be almost? And then like we form it into that, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas something like, I mean.
But I think that's better than us being slaves to it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. But then you go to like something like the news or even, I don't know if there's a better example, because I guess social media platforms are created for us. Like, it's for our pleasure in that sense. But yeah, I think that almost, I don't know, puts you in a place where you, I guess, your values just get a little bit.
Well, everything then can be curated to you.
Yeah.
Which
that's dangerous, I think.
Yeah, because then that feeds our whole selfish mentality, right? Like, how are we supposed to learn how to care about things that don't excite us when we can only care? Like, we've literally created a society where we can only care for the things that excite us.
Yeah, right.
Right? Or that give us that shock value, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone loves it. Like, no one wants to live, like, mundane and whatever.
No.
Like,
yeah.
But...
So back to the whole, like, spike and the whole, like, gradual thing. Like, how can we move against that then? Because I think we should. I don't think it's something that we could just be like, well, this is okay. Because I think it highlights something that's going on in this world or in our lives or whatever.
Something bigger than us.
Something bigger. The bigger picture, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have an answer, or I don't know if I have a complete thought.
No, I have answers that I don't think anyone's going to do because I wouldn't do them.
Yeah.
You know, like searching for things that you know what I mean? Like, like try to get yourself out of that algorithm. But that takes so much work. And honestly, I don't want to be spending my time looking for things that I don't care about. Yeah.
Okay, so do we, I mean, super extreme, but do we just block out some, like, it's hard, isn't it, I guess? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have a complete thought on that, but it's like, I wonder what life would be like, genuinely, if we couldn't see anything on, like, in terms of news, sorry, in terms of news, like, in terms of, like, seeing, like, what's going on in the world. Because, okay, you think of, like, back in the day, like, how do they find out what's going on?
Exactly. Globalization was a beautiful thing, right? When all of a sudden the world, like, seemed so small, we could, like, travel on planes, we could, you know, turn on the news and see what's happening on the other side of the world. And it made us so much more, like, united and connected. Yeah. But now, like, in a strange sense, it's also making us more detached. Yeah. It's like, we're like, oh, like, let's unite, let's get connected. Oh, no, oh, wait, like, do you know what I mean? And somewhere along the line, it, like, went almost too extreme. Yeah. That now I can pick and choose from the world what I care about, what I want to see, what I... Yeah. I also think because the novelty is gone. Yeah. It was a novel thing to, like, be able to turn on the news and see, you know, clips from literally everywhere else in the world. Yeah. Now it's just so normal. Yeah. And this is where I think normal gets tricky. Because we're talking about shock value, right? And, you know, we don't want to just be shocked by things. Like, we need to normalize things. But when things become normal, we stop paying attention to them. Yeah. Yeah. Or we stop caring. Or I think as human nature, we're always going to be looking for something else. You know, like, we know that there's more, that there's... So my question, I do not have the answer to, is what's the line of normal? Where it's like, I don't need to be entertained for everything. Something can be quote unquote mundane for me to still care about it. But I'm not... Like, it's not so normal that I'm... I don't know. Bored. Yeah, you know? And, like, we could say, oh, just don't get bored by it. But that's not how humans work. You know what I mean? Like, or maybe used to it. Desensitized, maybe. Comfortable. I'm, like, trying to, like, look for synonyms. So my brain can kind of figure out what the... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally know what you mean. I feel like I'm in a place right now, right? With my life. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
I'm about to unpack it.
No. I mean,
seatbelts on.
Not loads to unpack, but... I like, for sure, like, I've figured that that's how I'm moving in different areas of my life. Is like, okay, things are not boring, but like more like mundane, right?
Less exciting.
And it's like, okay, what does that change? Nothing. Like, it shouldn't change much. Yeah. It shouldn't change how I move. It shouldn't change, like, how frustrated I might be with that, you know? It should, like, it's learning how to thrive in that, like, I guess, place. And I think you can translate the same thing for this as well. It's like, okay, how can we take ownership of this, of normal almost? Yeah. Like, how can we make that the thing? Like, how can we make normal trending almost? Do you know what I mean though? Like,
then we're back to square one. Then now we're shocked by the normal thing.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. Hold on. No, that's way too confusing. But do you know what I mean though? Like, how can we really, like, take normal and just be like, this is what we should, I guess, value. Yeah. It's really hard because I think we could keep repeating the same sort of things with the whole ideas of, like, oh, let's, like, create boundaries with social media and let's create lines and stuff like that. But
I don't know if that's actually a
solution
or a thing.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But I also feel like it's, like, advancing so quickly. You know what I mean? That once you, like, figure out how to draw boundaries for, like, how it is right now, in a couple of years, like the whole social media technology like scene is going to be completely different, you know, because we're advancing so quickly. So I feel like instead of necessarily like setting boundaries with the thing, I think we need to set boundaries with ourselves.
Right.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good. Well done.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, boundaries with ourselves. And like with also the normal, I think it's very like that whole, again, back to the whole like spike, etc. Like it's very emotionally driven, right? Yeah. It's like, oh, like my emotions, this makes my emotions pop up, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. And I think we're not here to be like, okay, your emotions are a bad thing. You should like not get excited at the spikes, etc. You know, but it's almost like, it's like the next step after emotions. Yeah. So, okay, we have an emotion for something. That's great. Like, now what?
Like, use it strategically.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, or if you feel an emotion about something that is not trending, use that to, I don't know, give some oomph to the, not making it trending necessarily, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes, like, we let like the news cycle or social media or things that are trending or whatever it is, like manipulate our emotions.
Yeah.
You know, like we're not a victim to any of this, you know what I mean? But like we should be the ones to understand that, wait a minute, like all of these things in a not bad sense, like serve me in the sense of like, this is just a phone.
Yeah.
I'm the human.
Yeah.
You know, like, so how can I make this reflect what I value, what I really care about, what I think is going to improve the world, as opposed to letting this tell me what I should value, how like it thinks that the world should move and go, you know?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we just forget that like we're the ones with the brain.
Yeah, right.
You know? Yeah. So like, okay, like if my brain is feeling this or thinking this or being passionate about this, then I get to inform that, you know what I mean? Yeah. Not the other way.
Yeah.
And I think remembering that, like, I don't know, we're just not slaves.
No, we're not.
Anyone else singing Britney Spears, I'm a slave for you? No?
Okay, well, I'm not.
He's definitely not. But...
I don't know. Yeah, I do know who Britney Spears is, but also I don't know like her specific songs.
I just remember having to explain Free Britney to you, and it was one of the saddest moments of my life.
Okay. Hey, you need to get out more often. Anyway,
can you imagine that being the saddest moment? Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah, back to the emotions thing.
Yeah, we're not slaves.
Yeah, we're not slaves. And it's like, it's almost like, how can we create like the next level of depth after our emotions, you know? Yeah, I guess just processing it now, I think it's like, okay, this right now excites me. This is interesting. This is something I'm passionate about. But like to really see something through is a different muscle, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so I guess it's like, okay, we have the emotion for something. This is like a serious, let's use Turkey as an example, like and Syria, like everything that's going on there. Like, okay, big deal. This is not good, you know? So how can we, like, what's the next step after that? Like, how can I bring awareness to this? How can I make this something that now is actually meaningful and is actually like, I'm going to make an impact with something that I'm aware of, that my emotions are like making me aware of. That's something that's going on inside of me, I guess, you know? Yeah. And not make it something that's like, okay, I'm going to just feed the gossip. I'm just going to help the gossip with this, but I'm actually going to
or just be all talk.
Yeah.
Is another thing.
Nice.
Because like in a situation like this, you know, like there's not much gossip around it, right? Yeah. But it's a trending thing. It's all in the news. But if you're just putting your
just reading
breathy opinion to it, you know what I mean? That doesn't actually, awareness is always a thing and we love awareness. But if you really care about something, you know, we're not just going to help the awareness and then move on.
I think it just needs like, it needs like an action after the emotion.
To ground it,
Yeah. Because then you really make it into something that's beyond just your emotions or a reaction to something. Yeah.
And I think then on the flip side, so I'm going to go back to like the Gwyneth Paltrow court case, right? Yep. Because like that is like Turkey and Syria, that's a legit thing that I think anyone with a conscience can say we should care about that, you know? Yeah. But then I'm like, as someone, as I've explained before, like who's always been into like the celebrity gossip, like that kind of stuff. I said goss. Are you proud?
I actually am, yeah. Wow. In my mind, I was like, wait, wow, that was a really weird moment. Yeah.
Out of body, yeah.
I was like, goss, yeah.
Anyway, you're welcome. It's because I said you made me sad about Britney, probably. Trying to make it up. Anyway.
Okay. No. Was that subconscious?
What?
Like you doing that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, we don't have time to unpack that. Back to Gwyneth Paltrow, right? So like, again, this is something that I'm more into or like my kind of thing, but I can also see that adds nothing, you know? So then what do you do when you have an emotional reaction or you want to be invested in something where it's not like Turkey and Syria? I can't say, oh, it's good for me to be interested in this, you know? But I think like, okay, understanding that you maybe have an emotional reaction to it. And that could be, you know, it's not necessarily like, oh, I'm happy, or like, oh, I'm devastated, you know? It's like, oh, I'm like intrigued, you know what I mean? Or whatever. But then it's like trying to figure out, okay, what is that emotion? And like, why do you have that emotion? I'm not saying then like, I don't ignore the news completely, but then every time you see a story, I'm just going to use Gwyneth again as this, about it, like kind of stopping yourself and being like, wait a second, like I'm really into this. Does this actually add anything? No. You know what I mean? Doesn't necessarily mean you don't have to read it or like whatever, but just like being conscious, a conscious consumer.
Nice.
That's what we love to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just kind of being aware, like, oh, like right now I'm reading this just for my self-indulgence. You can still read it, but like having that awareness
of like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Because
like,
I think then if you're aware of what you're doing, then you'll be like, okay, I need, like, that's enough. You know, like you'll put that boundary a little bit more.
Exactly.
Because we can't sit here and be like, hey, don't read that.
No,
I don't.
Because I do. I mean, you like to be informed. I'd rather us be informed about what's happening in the world than live under a rock.
Yeah.
But it's like when it's the consumption and being consumed as a consumer and
turning it into something that.
Yeah. And all of a sudden I'm only caring about that and don't give
enough for something else, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough to navigate.
It is.
But I think we want to have these kind of conversations just to bring more of like a, look, this is what this is.
Yeah.
Right? So like, let's move within that, I guess, consensus. Yeah. Boundaries, etc.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like understand our part. Like I think so much of this as well, or like a lot of the episodes too, it's like, I don't know, like we have to be aware, we have to care more, we have to, you know what I mean? Which is also true, but it's like, I don't know, I feel like this one is, okay, we know that, but now like let's actually like use it for good.
It's like this is okay. Like this is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Almost, you know? It's more like, let's not turn it into a bad thing. Let's like just...
Let's like flip the field, you know what I mean? That's not the saying.
No, but...
I'm going to say flip the switch, that's also not the
coin?
saying. Flip the coin? Flip the deck? Flip the card?
Yeah, something like
that. I don't know.
But
flip the script.
Oh.
It's flip the script.
Okay. Actually, never heard that.
Okay, well. You know what I mean? It's like now it's not them, the greater them, whoever they are, telling us what we want, like, or what we should think. But we're flipping the script and saying, like, no, like, as people, as a society, as culture, as, you know, like, these are the things that we want to care about. And these are the things that we're going to give attention to. And these, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, just taking that.
Boom.
That
Ownership, yeah.
We love that word, don't we?
We do, yeah. And something else that I absolutely love right now is training your stamina. And I think this like ties in well.
You do, yeah.
Because I just feel like it, I mean, again, I could keep going on about like, this is where the world's at, blah, 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 blah. But it is true. And it's this idea of like the whole action side of something, or choosing against what is like natural or feels natural to you, you know? And I think with this context, I think it's the action after the emotion. It's like, and it's also being aware of like, okay, this is what's going on. This is why I'm looking at it. And then it's the action of like, maybe something like you see something and it's like, okay, how can I bring a level of depth to this? And how can I take action? How can I bring more awareness to this? What's my role to play? And like playing that out. I feel like that's like the hard training almost in this. And I think it's such a good muscle to train because we just are in this world where everything's for our own pleasure, and all the apps that you can download, it's all about how you can gain something. And like, again, like all these things are we're just making it so much about like what I want and what I want to see. And so I feel like those actions like this really go against the mold of like, you know, and it's making more about like the bigger picture. It's making it more about the person next to you. It's making it a bit more about the country overseas, Turkey, Syria. Like it's, you know, it's like putting yourself aside for a second. And I feel like that's such a good muscle to train with everything that we have going on.
And I feel like as humans, like our subconscious default will always be to go into like self-preservation. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like just as humans. So when we're consuming things, when we're watching things, whatever, like I'm never going to, unless I'm thinking about it, I'm never going to like go for something that's going to challenge me. I'm always going to go for something that comforts me. Yeah. You know, and so whatever that comfort might be for, you know, whether it's comfort in like looking like a good person that cares, whether it's comfort in numbing myself out with, you know, fake news, whatever it might be. Like, so I just think it's that awareness as well of like, am I going into self-preservation mode, even just with what I'm consuming, because it's not challenging me to grow, or it's not challenging me to think a different way, you know? And again, just having that awareness of being like, wait, no, like I do want to grow as a person. I do want to care about things and life, and going for that.
Because the benefits of moving in like what I want, etc., and in that moment, like it'll be temporary, right? The things you'll get out of it. Yeah. But I feel like if you move in the other way, like the benefits or the good things that come from that, like that's like long lasting, like fruits, you know? So yeah. It's good.
Yeah, it's great.
It's good. It's tough to get to work in. But anyway, yeah. So, team, that is trending topics. And that is what is trending and how to move within
our viral culture.
Wow.
Viral
culture. Yes.
I always want to say country, but
no, culture.
Virality. Not a word, but should be a word.
Yeah. Team.
Awesome.
So yeah, I hope that brought some awareness. I hope that gave you shed some light into things, but
and
also
hopefully some hope.
yeah, because we don't. I think it's we've said this a couple of times already, but we are aware that it's like not easy, and it's not a bad thing either. But it's like, okay, what's the actions we can take? Yeah, knowing this.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. What a great chat.
Love it.
Awesome. Yeah. And again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll be back next week with yet another episode.
Boom.
And upend the trends.
Yes. Cool. We will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us at the Anchor of the Week, where we have hard conversations, hear people's stories, and challenge perspectives.
Remember, you can stay connected by following us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, as well as subscribing to our YouTube channel.
Hope these conversations are inspiring you to have hard convos as well.
We'll see you next time, and remember, attack topics and not people.